Hey everybody. Hello, it's me, Aggie. How are you doing? We are going to paint again tonight. Another happy bird, another pretty bird. Maybe I'll call this one Polly. Let me know if you are joining me. Hello. I want to make sure you can hear me. Pretty please in the comments if you could let me know. Hopefully the sound is okay. I'm using my Logitech, the microphone on my camera. And I just kind of inhaled my dinner, so. Hello, Denise. Can you hear me okay? I'm assuming that you can. Yay! Hey, Dolores. So those of you that are members in the Painter's Journey, I shared a PDF with several of these in there. There's like, I don't know how many, at least 5, I guess. And these are going to be fun, like with the little dots. You know how I am. I love the dotty stuff. So several different birds that I'm going to be painting with you guys on this channel. This is my Agnes Friedlander Art Studio channel. I haven't been on here in a long time. You love them? Thank you. Yeah, they're so fun to paint. This first one looks really good. Where did I put him? Oh, he's back here. This is Kelly. This is Kelly. Kelly. I think this one is going to be Polly that I'm painting tonight. Hi, Linda. So we should just go ahead and get started, right? Let me turn these lights off. I'm going to turn this camera off and get over there and start painting. Did you guys all check out the, and let me make sure you can still hear me, right? You should be able to. Did you check out the eclipse today? Did you have a total eclipse of the heart? Let's see. Do I have all my supplies? Hello. Just somebody commented to make sure, to assure me that you can still hear me, okay? And then I won't have to bother you anymore. I thought I had this on. Oh, there. And then how does that lighting look? We had hard rain, no eclipse to be seen. Oh, okay. That'll inhibit for sure. Oh, I know what. I had my iPad over here. Let me grab my iPad. I'm sorry, you guys. So if you're going to be painting with me, grab your stuff. And, or grab a beverage. Tell me what you're drinking in the comments. Oops, can't go that way because of the cord. I almost ran into the cord. And there's always so many things to set up, right? All right, let's see if I can find us on do I want to find us on Facebook? What are you guys watching on? Some of you guys are watching on YouTube. Actually, I guess most of you are watching on YouTube, except Denise. So I'm going to go on YouTube. Sometimes the sign in is such a pain. Hopefully I don't have to sign in. Well, here I is. So go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't, you guys. Lori Olson is watching on YouTube today. Yay! I was just talking, Lori and I were just talking, and she told me that that's how she first found me. I'm like, I didn't even know that. So I'm over here by my window. Looky. There's such a delay. I'm waiting for it to show up. Yep. Wow, the light looks really weird. Doesn't really show as much as I thought it would show. Oh well. But anyway, that's where I am. I'm over here by this window. And I'm going to be standing the whole time. That's okay. I'm seated enough. So I've got two different pictures. This was just another one I found. I think this one was also on Unsplash. And look at the amazing color under his eye. It's like a teal green or something. So I definitely want to accentuate that. So I want to show you something on the color wheel, you guys. If I can find my color wheel. Where did I put it? I reorganized my studio and I can't find anything anymore. Okay, the opposite color of a coral is a blue-green, so like a teal. This is like the complementary color. Did you guys know that? So that's why I used that on my substrate. That's my background, my ground color. And so I'm just going to get some paints out here and start painting. So my strategy, what attracted me to this was the color. So I know my first layer of color is going to be dull, you know, not as vibrant, but I'll put more layers of peachy pink on there, and I'll have variation in the saturation of my color and the values of my color. And that's what is attracting me to this. So a lot of times, you know, we want to think about what's the story that we want to tell. What is it about this? And I also like on this one, I like that really looks like Payne's gray, doesn't it? His beak. I love that color on his beak. I feel like their beaks tell a story about them. You know, they're so weathered looking. But anyway, the other thing, sometimes what I like about printing stuff out on my printer is that I see secondary colors sometimes. Let's see, where did I see that? I don't know. I see a purplish color here. So if you mix magenta and you know, phthalo blue green shade, you get a purple. Did you know that? So we're going to get some purples in here, and that'll be really fun, don't you think? All right. So I've sketched this on here kind of loosely. And, you know, I do want this to be loose and fresh, and I'm trying not to get too tight. We'll see. So I'm going to use just like a not too big of a round brush. Maybe I should use a flat. I should use a flat to start. So here, this is a nice small flat. It's a size 4 that I've got. It's really small. Let's start a little bigger than that. I think I'm going to definitely want to use a filbert. And this is a filbert. Thanks for the likes. Oh, Laura, you're so sweet. You're just the sweetest lady. Okay, so this is like a size 10 filbert. If that helps you see the size. I probably didn't wash it out real well, but that's okay. So I'm using gesso for my white. I know, don't tell anybody. Is there a rule that you can't use gesso for your white? I just like the opacity of it. I'm going to use some Quin Magenta. I'm going to get some yellow out. Now this yellow might not be warm enough, so I'm just going to put a little and test it. I might need like a yellow medium to get this orangey tone. And then I'm also going to use some Pyro Red. You know, really, if I had to pick what color makes this, it's really Pyro Red with white. But I want some variation, so I'm going to mix some magenta in with it, Quin Magenta. Although you could use primary magenta too. So, okay. Let's see what we get here. So here is with some yellow. I think it's even lighter than that, but then I'm going to take this and do a different mix with the, you know what, the Quin Magenta might not work. That might not be clean enough. I think I might need the primary magenta or else some sort of rose color. Oh my goodness, I didn't mean to squirt that much out. Don't you hate it when that happens? Yeah, see, I think this might be better. Let me make room over here for this. Get this out of here. So I'm just kind of mixing up a few colors ahead of time so that I can pull from them and paint, you know, more spontaneously. So let's add a little yellow to this. And see, that's a totally different peach. So that's lighter and cleaner. Yeah, that's much better with the primary magenta, right? Okay, I made it too pink. You know, and your yellow might give you different colors, whatever yellow you're using. So tell me in the comments, do you guys use professional grade paints yet? Or are you on the verge? I got some blue that wants to seep down in here. I'm just going to really vigorously clean this out. How do you know when to use flat versus round? That's such a great question. There's so many nice, beautiful curves on these feathers, and I know that from the roundness of this ferrule of this brush that I can easily get brush strokes that end with a bit of a curve if I use a filbert. That's all. You know, flats just cover a big, or consider a flat like a wash. It's just a broad way to, it's just a way to use, that's the right brush to use when you want to block in areas of color. It's blocking in. When you want to finesse your brush strokes, especially if you've got curved ones, you would go to filbert, but you can still do a lot of nice finessing brush strokes with a flat too. If you want straight edges like you're doing windows and window ledges, you would use a flat. I hope that helps. And you know, it's a very personal thing, honestly, figuring out what works for you. So I think I want to try, let's just see what this even looks like on here. And this table is rocking a little bit, huh? Ugh. I'm just experimenting now. And so a couple things that I'm noticing about the light He's kind of backlit, unfortunately. So it makes it a lot harder to paint. So we might need to kind of make our own colors and, you know, make more contrast. So right about here is where there's some beautiful peachy color, but you know, you don't have to get all hung up with it. Just see, and I can turn this brush sideways and get those nice edges. And I'm going to paint into his face and come back in and put this light on top. The lighter strokes will go on top. I got to put my darks in first. And I'm probably going to exaggerate some of these values here because, you know, like I say, he's backlit. It's just not going to be too terribly interesting if I don't have contrast. So I want to kind of get that eye socket pushed back a little bit. Then I'll come back and put the lighter, cheeky ones on top. So it's just going to be a process of figuring it out as we go. And over here, these are very light. Oop, too much paint on my brush. Like very light because he's backlit. So that'll be a nice effect. These really light feathers around his edges. Of course, you know, when I paint, things just get bigger and bigger. But that's okay. We've got room. I don't want to lose this. Well, that was interesting. There was a little yellow I picked up on my brush. So I'm just getting more peachy now in here. That might have been just a little too red. But I am just kind of exploring right now. I'm going to have to push these colors, you know, just a little bit further than they actually are. And he's going to be kind of abstract, actually. So what I'm realizing is that I need to build these layers. And that is what I'm doing. I think I want, I don't know, just a bit of shadow tone. So maybe I will use the Quin magenta. But it's also just a slightly grayed color. So I'm going to use the teal, which is basically phthalo blue green shade with white. It's very similar anyway. Let's see what happens if I put the tiniest bit of that in with this. I do get a gray. It's a very weird color. It's kind of green gray. But I need, and when you look at that color, that is what it looks like. It does look like a green gray right there. So if I put just a little bit of this in here, it's going to really help with his like eye socket. So don't be afraid of those grays. The grays make the pretty colors even prettier. by contrast, you know? And I'm just squinting down, looking at my reference. I don't want a lot of this, but I think that helped. So let's get that a little closer. Oh, it's all, sorry. Wow. That's like with no light on it. That's just the natural light, and it's getting kind of dark out already, so it's not really giving an accurate representation just yet. All right, so let's put the beak in and the really cool turquoise color around the eye. I guess it's a little bit bluer than that. I'm going to use a little bit of this gray that I have. And then I'm just going to grab this white, mix that in with it. And I'm probably going to grab some blue also. And let's put his eye in too while we're at it. So that eye is really dark. I mean, that is straight up black. That is blackety black. I wonder if it would look better with the cool light. This is a cool light on it now. And it's weird, there's like, you have to look really hard to find the highlight in the eye. So the highlight, I'm actually going to use some cobalt blue with white. I'm going to make it a gray. So that was white, cobalt, and black. Let's make it a little lighter. Believe it or not, this is the highlight for his eye. Maybe a little bit bluer. And I don't know if you can even see that actually, but it's on there. It's almost like they have an eyelid, you know? So over there it becomes really gray. I'm going to add more white to this. It's just a lighter gray. It's got this warm, peachy color that I had. A little bit of that in with this gray. So it really is kind of green. And part of that is because it's kind of a shadow underneath some of these feathers. Okay, now we're ready for some white. Hopefully that's showing up better. And really it's not even white around the eye. It's just a lighter gray. I think I have it too light. So we'll make it a little bit darker. And that's what's important is we want to get the value first. The value and the color hue is really important. I'm putting this blue on here just to see what this looks like. I mean, his beak really has a lot of blue in it. I like that blue. I want it to show up more. There, okay. Better, 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 better. And I think I want more of a blue-gray line for his cute little eyelid. I think it's just a little too emphasized. Okay, and I think that when I get his feathers over that, it'll look better. But I think his eye got a little small. That happens. So it goes more this way. Okay, I think I got it. So then I'm going to use black here. And maybe I'll get some Payne's gray. So here's a little bit of my Payne's gray. I mean, you could make your own Payne's gray from black and blue. But since I have it, so this is a dry brush. A little highlight. And just some hints of texture on there. Okay. Okay, so then there's a little bit of like a shadow color, like a peachy gray shadow color that I need to get in there now. So my peach has dried up. And to make it that gray color, I can use my teal again. Might not be dark enough, so I'm going to add a little bit of the Payne's gray to it too. Now that made it too greenish. I want it to be really just a grayed coral color. So just a little bit of that. Maybe just, yeah, the Payne's gray is overpowering it. Let's see how this looks. Just a bit more red. Yeah, that did it. Just a little bit more of my red, which, you know, pretty much is a brown, but that's okay. So yeah, that's a good, you know, we need a muted mid-tone. It needs to be a little bit darker than that. So I'm adding more Payne's gray. Okay. And I'm just going to look for a few places where I'll have just a little hint of some separation of feathers. So like here, let's see, where was it? And maybe I'm going to push these colors just a little bit more. Right here, it becomes this really beautiful, clean coral color, but for now, I'm putting a shadowy color in there. I want one part to be darker. That's really purple. See, right here is where this wing kind of does a little bit of a thing. So just pick a few spots to have some accents like that, you know? Okay. So he looks really yellow compared to that. And I think I need a duller background color. I think I might work on my background color. You're watching intently. And a lot of times it's really an experiment trying to figure out a background color. Maybe this warm, maybe hints of this green, and make it more this color. Let's see what happens if we do that. So, you know, before I put in like my final layers, I'm going to try all right, this looks much the same. Well, this, you know, this is a little bit grayer than that, which is probably going to help. But I'm going to mix some Payne's Gray in with it. So it's a cooler. And then I think I would like to get it a little greener looking. I think I like it a little bit darker, and it's going to make these peaches come out a little bit more. See, so sometimes you just really have to experiment with getting the right background color. Yeah, I like this color better. Okay, so I wanted that contrast right by the beak. Okay. Now, what do you think? You like that background color better? I went back to being blue. I was thinking of rust, but went back to the blue, but that's okay. All right, so now we got to get this covered. And I know I'm gonna need a couple coats. So I'm gonna go to a smaller filbert now, and let's see if we can make that color again. I mean, I know I'm gonna need a couple of coats of this. Oops, it's still wet. I mean, I don't really know if I'm there yet. Probably not. Probably do have to come back in and do another coat of this. Yeah, you really do have to watch that you don't get too big with all his feathers. It's real easy to do. A little bit pinker right here. So this is starting to work with the, multiple layers, I think. Really hard to get this to show. Right, so now I've got a lot of dull colors on my palette and I can't really control my color mixes. So when this happens to you just got to do some housekeeping. You could just like wipe away all this muddy color here. When you want really clean color, because we're getting to that point where we're wanting that nice clean color again. You gotta really clean off your palette. Clean this off of here. I went crazy with the blue over here, didn't I? Maybe I should just get a new plate. Okay. I think that's going to work. Yeah, I think it's just like layers and layers. I'm going to try a different yellow too. I'm going to try a Hansa medium. I think it's just going to be a little bit warmer. Okay, so let's try this. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to nail the color depending on the pigments that you have, you know. I mean, I know that it's Pyro Red. And I don't know, maybe that's all it is white and Pyro Red. Let's see. Gosh, maybe that's just all it is the white and Pyro Red. I do see more yellow over there. Yeah, that might work. I've never painted one of these. It's kind of crazy. feathers galore. So then over here is, I need a smaller brush. So I'm just trying to like put these feathers in like in the direction that I see there, you know. And it's okay if I'm not 100% on there. So this part needs to be a little bit more a different color, slightly different. So I've got some yellow in there. I do see more yellow. And then we can start coming back into this again. And then here it's more concentrated. So that's gonna, I want a really clean coral color. So back out here. Oop, I just ruined this color. I want this to be a little more yellow, like because the sun is hitting him just a little bit. And also on this side. It'll give that feeling of the sun. This is some reflected light right there. So there's just some kind of yellow warmth every once in a while. I'll paint back in that beak line. Even here, there's just a little bit of like reflected yellow. I didn't notice it before. Okay. Get some pink now. So now I'm noticing the pink. Oh, that's way too much pink. Okay, let's get a smaller brush and get that nice strong coral in there. Let's see. Maybe this. I mean, I know it's Pyrrol red with white. Oh, I wonder if I could, if it's just that. I don't think so. There's just a little yellow in it. Well, that became like a focal point, so I wasn't thinking about that. That's not where I really want the eye to go, so I need to go back in and change that. So now we can do these feathers that kind of overlap the eyelid a little bit. So I'm just grabbing white every once in a while. Oh, I might have made that too light. Oh, probably too light. All right, let me go back to that bluish color. Ooh, too much water. Okay. I made that too pink. I was having a lot of fun with my pink there. Oop, I just got blue in there. It's a challenging painting, I do have to say. Okay, I need to get the beak a little back darker again. hate that the eye is so dark. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I'll probably come back in and do a little bit more detail in here. But let me see if I can hold it up for you guys a little bit better on the camera. I'll bring it over to the other camera. Oh my goodness, you guys still here? I am not camera ready. I look terrible. But yeah, it looks so much better when you see it. Look at my fingers, how bad my finger was. Oh my goodness, don't look at me. I don't know, what do you think it needs? Who's still here? Actually, I kind of like how you see those subtle different colors in there around the eye. I am very painty. Oh my goodness, look at, did I just see something on my wrist? Oh, I almost dropped the whole thing. Yeah, I'm very painty. So yeah, this was fun. Yeah, something here I don't really like. Needs just a little bit more. I like the eye. I like how the making that deep, the beak darker again helped make everything else pop. There's such a strong contrast, between that really dark beak and everything else. And we don't need a lot of detail down here, but it just needs a little bit more accuracy in these feathers up here. So I'll come back in and take my time and do that. I might do a little bit more around the eye. They have very weird looking eyes. But anyway, thanks you guys for hanging out with me. Well, I'm thinking this one's a girl. I don't know why. Maybe this one's going to be Polly. Hi Marty. The other one was Kelly. Let's put Polly. Let's put them together. They should be facing each other. Could be a fun little series, right? Yay! All right. Well, you guys have a good night. I will be back on with another one. Let's see, the other birds that I have. I've got this one is really, does anybody know what these are called? I'm going to kind of change him. He looks a little almost too weird. So I'm going to make him more floofy or something. There's this one, this crazy one. That's really crazy, right? And this one. So anyway, are you guys going to paint these? I hope you do. Yeah, these colors are pretty on here. I hope you do. I hope you try it. You don't have to be as tight, I mean, really, this is pretty loose. You don't have to be all tight about it, The filberts definitely help. All right. Have a great evening. Bye, you guys.